Hello everyone and welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorial number 74. Today we show you how to create your own phone app from a Google Sheet using Glide. Once every couple of years, I come upon an app or tech that just blows my mind with its possibilities and ease of use. Glide is one of those apps. It's really incredible in how easy it is to use and what it can accomplish. I want to give a hat tip to Marlene Harris from Screven County for this Tech Tuesday. Marlene, you ruined my schedule for the last 2 days as I've had to drop everything to mess around with this app and do a video on it. It's amazing. So what is Glide? Glide is an app that simply builds phone apps from a Google Sheet, all without you having to code anything. It makes building mobile apps incredibly easy and quick. Glide lets you map fields from a Google Sheet to the app in many different ways. From email addresses to phone numbers, from informational text to images, anything in a field can be mapped to the app and displayed in various ways. Glide has a few templates that get you started too, with sample data in the sheets already so that you can learn by doing and examining the sheet app relationship. And finally, you can share your apps with a link without having to become a publisher, or register it with the Google Play or Apple's App Store. Publishing to the marketplace is possible, it's just not necessary. Let's look at a sample and see how it works. So for simplicity in this video, I'm not going to go into in-depth stuff today. I'm instead just going to give an overview. Look for a more in-depth look at Glide at a later date. Okay, so let's try this employee sample. Right, so this is what Glide looks like on the web while you're editing and building. In the center is your basic app display. You can choose from Apple to Android. And over on the left-hand side are your major components, major sections, and on the right are the details of what you're looking at. Glide sets up the app into different tabs at the bottom based on the tabs that you have in your Google Sheet. For this example, we can take a look at the sheet by clicking on View Sheet. If you have your own sheet that you set up, you're going to have editing rights to that, and so you'll see Edit Sheet instead. So this is the sheet that they gave us. And so I can see that there's a name field, a title field, an email field, a phone and photo and stuff like that. I will say that Glide really does need you to have links to images in order to kind of give it a lot of the images that it's going to be using in the app. You gotta provide these yourself. In the more in-depth video, I'll show you how to get direct links to images, particularly if you're hosting them in Google Drive, and for that to be able to work here. But in general, you need a link to an image there. So that will then map to the app itself. And so I can look at this Michael Scott, picture of him, regional manager, Michael Scott, regional manager, and this picture. Sure enough, that's the picture. Okay, and it looks like it's even cropping it some. Right, so how do I control what goes there? Well, over on the right-hand side, if I'm looking at screens, I can see the information for this screen is over here. Do I show the search box? Yes or no? What do I use for the title? I'm going to use the name field. Okay, that's there. But if I change it to email, you'll see it changes there. Okay, I see that direct relationship now. Then details is currently showing the title, so that's that smaller font there. And then finally, the image is pulled from what field? From the photo field. Done. And it builds it. That's it. You tell it what fields you want to map, and it does the rest. Now, what happens is that on every one of your screens, you basically have two levels. You have the main level, and then you have the second level when people click on something. So if I click on Michael Scott here, it takes me to a second level, and it lets me customize what fields I want to display on this page for that particular item. We have email, phone number, what office they're in. Pretty simple. You can see how those map up. The next tab, offices here, comes from another tab in the sheet. And so each tab in the sheet relates to a tab in the app. So employees, just because it looks like this, that doesn't mean it has to be. It can be listed as tiles. It can be listed as gallery or anything else like that if I want. So let's take a look at another example of one that we did, and we're going to build it from scratch really quickly. Okay, so let's say I wanted to create a new app here. I click on New App. I choose the spreadsheet that I'd like to use. In this case, we're using the FD Research Summer Institute app spreadsheet. And this is basically what it looks like. This is a mock spreadsheet. It's just mock data. It doesn't have anything that's real. I wanted to have certain topics here for them to be able to click on, and then I wanted to have links for them to go to if they had it. I don't even have it all filled out right now. That's fine. And then I've got images for them for the icons, right? On one of them, I started playing around with markdown text, which I'll explain in the second video. I have a tab for presenters. Again, this is just mock data. These aren't real presenters that are coming. I have mock sponsors as well. Again, not coming necessarily. But here's the app so far. I just simply said create an app, pointed to the spreadsheet, and here it is. Now, the first thing is I may want to change the icon. I can come in here and change this to something else that's frequently used for emojis, or I can even upload my own. I can change the background color for the app. Then I can come over here to navigation and tell it how it wants to display the icons for the different tabs. So in general, you're using some sort of basic icons here that are built into their library. So I have a home app. I have one maybe of a user for presenters, and for the sponsors, I think there's one here for gift. Looks pretty good. Okay, I can rename them, call this home, and I'm ready to go. So I want to change the way this looks. I would like this to be larger icons, more tile-based. So I'll go to screen. That's how the screen is displayed. Change the layout to be columns. Good. Then how do I display these items? For this, it's not showing the actual title of it. The title of it, it's actually going to be pulled from the topic column. So I just need to say title comes from the topic column. Done. Details. Do I even want details? Maybe not. Leave it out. And the images come from the image column. Good. Great. I then go into the second level, click on website. So it has a summary one, which seems to be pulling from the image and the topic. So I have the name here in the image. That's fine. And then markdown description. This is from that one field here. So I was just playing around with how that would look if I tried to format some actual text. Let's take a look at another one. The schedule, there's a link here. Yeah, that's pulling from the link 1 column. I can make more link columns if I want or anything else. And then I've got a map and a YouTube link. So the map and the YouTube link are kind of interesting. I put them in here, and that's for the item of directions and parking. I wanted to map one. So I'll go back in here, go to directions and parking, and there's a map. Great. Map link. It doesn't really do much. It looks like a regular link. But we can actually put other stuff in here. So I can go into components. And if I scroll down, there's actual kind of dynamic components here. So there is an option for a map instead of just a link, but an actual map. Then I have it pull from the map link column. That's this one. Great. I'd like to have a YouTube app in there as well. So I'll go back and let's see which one this was going to be tied to. This was going to be tied to the Keynote. I want a YouTube. So I go down here to the Keynote, I select that, and instead of just putting in a link to the YouTube, I go in here and choose the actual video component. And it's going to pull from, it guesses and pulls from the YouTube column. So that plays back right there in the app. Great. Notice that the Keynote is the only one with the YouTube link. So if I go in here to schedule, it doesn't show it. So rather than showing some X or some missing thing, it just leaves it out entirely. So it's nice and clean. You can actually have all of these different icons contain a map and a video link, but because the spreadsheet is empty, they don't display anything. Yeah, you keep building it as you want. You can do the same with presenters and stuff. I can come in here and see information for each one of them. Every one of these things has separate little settings that let you further customize what that field can do. But make no mistake, it's pulling that information from your spreadsheet, which means then if you change something in the spreadsheet, you change it immediately in the app. So any of this data here that I want to change, I can do that. So if I go back here to my home thing and I see website, if I want to add a couple exclamation marks to it just to try it out, when I come back over here, if we refresh this and revisit this page, then it's going to be live for all of our users. If you make any structural changes to the sheet, like you add columns or anything, you need to actually manually reload the sheet. So what's fascinating here is just how easy this is once you kind of understand that these fields have a relationship to the elements in the app itself. Once you kind of understand that relationship, it's just a matter of filling out the spreadsheet and your app is getting built. So what's exciting to me about this is just how easy this is without having to have any coding experience. Because once you get this done, you just hit share app and you copy the link to it. And then you just share this on social media or anything else or through QR codes, and you give out the link and JQ Public sees this. And it works, and they can click and get the QR code. And if they put it on their phone, they can add it to their home screen. And you've got an app that's automatically updated on the fly in real time through a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet needs only be modified by someone who has access to the sheet. They don't need to know anything about app design. They don't have to know anything about building. They don't have to know anything like that. They just, an administrative assistant can do this. A grad student can do this. A high school student can do this. Speaking of which, you could have kids building apps for your school. I mean, they could build an athletics app for the football team. which has schedules, and it has the team members, and it has their current stats. It's kind of crazy how much information you can put in there. You could do a tour of your school. You could have an app for your school giving a kind of a virtual tour for new students. You could do study guide apps. You could do an app for your classroom with homework and policies and anything else you want in there. It's kind of crazy how easy this is to build, and how everyone from grade school to college and business can be using this to create apps. This was just an overview. Get out there and check out Glide. Try it with your own spreadsheet. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, smash that like button. Support us, click that subscribe button. Leave a comment or an idea for a Tech Tuesday video below. Share this video with your friends, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.